This is from LaFonda Fenwick. It says, this is a long question. I have girls as well. Last September, my girls and I were at the Tea Party rally. The signs that we saw there were horrible. Hitler, the president with bones in his nose, scary mess, and on and on. My daughters were so distraught. Sorry. No one there looked like us. They were afraid, angry, and wanted to leave. I understand you speak at those rallies. Open my mind and tell me why I should vote for you. Oh, wow. It appears to me that the Tea Party and Republican Party are running together.
Oh, I love it. Thank you. I don't know who that is. I'm not going to put it on the spot, but thank you for that question. That is a wonderful question. Because when I was down at the Tea Parties, I have spoken at many Tea Parties. Not only here across the state of Maryland, but outside the state of Maryland and in D.C. And I'll be honest with you, I see some of those same signs. I do. I see some of those same folks. And although I see them there, I do realize that the Tea Party movement is so much bigger than those 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or how many other people decide to subject themselves to that type of ignorance. It's way bigger than that. I've experienced, if I were going to talk about my Tea Party experiences, I've experienced people that have embraced and love our candidacy and what we stand for. I see hardworking Americans that look like me and they look like you. In fact, I was down at the Glenn Beck rally, which wasn't a Tea Party rally, so to speak, either, but I was at the Glenn Beck rally in Washington, D.C. this past Saturday, and I saw pastors, bishops, men, women across the board that look like me and they look like you, that understand and can see through the fog. See, what happens a lot of times with these movements is people get attached to these movements because everybody wants to make their own statement. But at the same time, the media wants to grab, and sometimes we do too, and we're found guilty of this. We will grab stuff and we'll make it, and we'll make it such a big deal and try to say this one person or this group of people speak on behalf of everyone. They create their own discriminatory practices all by themselves, and it happens so many times. I mean, every time. Here's one, for example. Somebody walked up to me, and they met me and my wife, and they said, you know, and they looked at me, and they said, are all of those girls yours? And I just looked at the person. And I said to him, well, whose else would they be? But when they saw me, what'd they do? They put me in a box of what they thought was who this guy was. People do stuff like that all the time. Here's the truth of the matter. The Tea Party movement is a movement of Republicans and Democrats. There's independents, black, white, Asian Americans, Mexican Americans, Swedish Americans. There's all sorts of folks in the Tea Party. Their biggest concern at the heart of the Tea Party is the Constitution and the direction of our country. Honest to goodness. If it wasn't, I certainly wouldn't speak of the Tea Party movements. But here's also, because I'm an American and I have a family, I also understand this. Everybody in here has a family member that they're not particularly proud of. And they don't let them out the house after dark. Everybody does. I mean, and if you don't, then you're that one. And God bless you. I need to be in your family. Or maybe you are the one. No, I'm just kidding. No, that was bad. No. But what I'm trying to say is every organization is going to have those 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 that are always acting so stupid and doing the stupidest things. What really made my heart feel good was when we were walking from, you remember that the first Tea Party we went in D.C., we walked from the park all the way down to the memorial, or to the steps of the Capitol. And as we were walking, there were people on my left side that were saying, you should not be a Democrat, you should not be a Republican, we're starting our own party. That excited me, because that meant there was a good group, mix of folks out. We kept walking down. We were standing at the corner of Constitution and D Street, or somewhere right there just before the, just across from the Capitol. And this guy was holding up this sign of our president with a mustache that made it look like Adolf Hitler. Yeah. And one of the guys that was with me, who didn't look like me, wasn't with me, I was walking beside him, he turned and stopped and said, put that sign up. Why is that sign here? Put that sign up. No place. That sign has no place being here. And the guy just kind of snubbed him off and went down to another block to hold the sign up. You're always going to find folks like that, no matter where you go. You show me one place you go. My pastor used to say all the time, this is not a perfect church. And if it were, we lost the status when you joined. The media's job is to sell papers, radio spots, televisions. Boring news doesn't sell stories. And it's amazing that Americans aren't rising above the stupidity and realizing what's going on. Some people want to believe it. They do. I got a call from a friend of mine today. He was fussing me out. You know who he was. He was fussing me out. I can't believe you went to that Glenn Beck rally. What's wrong with you? Aren't you, what kind of man are you? I was supporting you. I'm looking at the phone. I wanted to hang up the phone, but I didn't hang up the phone. I just listened. I said, were you at the rally? He said, no, I wasn't. I said, do you realize that Glenn Beck had prayer for the president at the rally? No, he didn't. Yes, he did. He prayed for your president and the country, and your president specifically. Well, that wasn't on the news. I want to take the phone and throw it. No, it's not on the news. That doesn't sell papers. We'd rather keep stuff going for no other purpose than to keep stuff going. So I want to stand in front of you and say that the experience I've had at Tea Party movements has not been one where the majority of the people are racist, don't like the president, don't like Congress. The issue is not people. The issue is policies. And they're very different. They're very different. I mean, I could meet a young man or young lady today, and I could like you as a person, but not like what you stand for or your policies that you stand behind. It happens all the time. You have some friends that you put up with only on Friday or Saturday. Oh, yes, you do. No, I don't. Everybody in my circle is just like me. Well, you know that circle's got a problem. Everybody has issues. But how do we take a look at this thing and see it for what it is so we can continue to heal and strengthen our country? That's what we have to do. Because if we don't understand that, if we don't understand what's at hand, if we don't take a look at this thing and see where our country's going and realize that we can make it better, we can capitalize on the good things we've had and take it further and have that kind of optimism, what else do we have? What else do we have? What are we going to do? Just keep bickering? Keep throwing stones across the aisle to the one group dies and we can all take over? Or are we going to find a way to work together?